Gigi Thames, welcome, I can say, back in Belgium,
Yes.
because you were here in last year in Banana Peel. Yeah, you gave a great show, I
Thank
read
you.
somewhere. Welcome in Puurs, that's the Duvel Festival. You know why it's called the Duvel Festival?
Why is that?
Because of the sponsor,
Duvel beer.
the Duvel beer, yeah.
We passed it on the way
One
in.
of one of the famous beer we have in Belgium.
Okay.
That's no problem. Let me start by saying that you grew up in Detroit.
Yes, it did.
You were a jazz-trained lady.
Classical and jazz, actually.
Classical and jazz.
Started out in classical and from about age 9 to about 14, and then 15 I started.
Can I say
jazz training.
that you were destined to become a musician or a singer-songwriter?
I think so. I went to Montessori schools, starting at I think I was 3, and they told my parents then that I had a gift, and that they needed to nurture that. So I'm thankful that my parents kind of listened and put me in music and allowed me to really explore music.
It was because of your family, your environment, no?
Yeah, you know, I had a family that definitely was supportive of my musical dreams. I think they were more supportive of classical and jazz. They really didn't understand my transition into soul and rock and blues. And, you know, it took a while to jump on board with that, but they did.
Later on, you moved to Jackson, Mississippi.
I did. Once I graduated from high school, my family migrated down south. So I followed. I ended up having my first son at the age of 17, and so basically my parents were saying, "Well, I guess you're coming with us." So
there you got into the famous Chitlin circuit. Yeah.
Yes.
You met a lot of famous people.
I did. It started out with. I mean, it's a long story, but basically it started out with Harrison Cap Calloway from Muscle Shoals and Malico Records. And he just kind of took a liking to me at about 18 years old, and basically just started getting me in the studio to reference tracks. I didn't know that they were being referenced from Malico, but and then introduced me to Peggy Scott Adams. I was saying Betty. Peggy Scott Adams and Marvin Cease, and you know.
Marvin Cease and Bobby Blue, all the famous ones.
Yeah. My introductions were mostly through him, and because of him, I was on the road singing backgrounds for him at 18. Denise LaSalle and a bunch of different
Then you got the nickname, or maybe it's not a nickname, but they call you the Mississippi Blues Diva.
I'm not sure what publication that came out in verse, and it just kind of stuck. So
you can read it everywhere. That's
yeah. I can't remember where it started, but it came out once, and it just stuck, and we kind of just went with it, and the traditional sense of the word diva, I don't really like too much, and I think people expect that when they meet me. They expect this, demanding woman, and I don't feel that that's the way to get what you want out of life. So
you're not only a blues lady. No. You also do a lot of reggae, rock, rockabilly, punk.
Over the years,
your other sides.
And I think that's the new phrase, and it started with Dorothy Moore, was she was saying, she's quoted that I'm the future of the blues, and while I appreciate that and I embrace it, I think there's a new generation of bluesmen and blueswomen that are forging forward, and we're taking blues is it's a feeling, but it's also the root of all American music, and so we are just taking the babies of that music and fusing it back into the blues, and it's bringing a new generation of listeners and followers to keep it alive, and we've got to get the younger kids on board, and they're coming.
Yeah, but we have to wait until 2014 for your first album.
Yes, I signed with.
Why that so long?
Well, I came out with an independent neo soul album in 2008, but that's underneath a different name and total different situation. But I wasn't signed. I got signed at in 2013 with the Champ, which is Grady Champion's label, and the first album came out in 2014.
Yeah. And then the next album, that was in 2016.
Yes, Raw Sugar
Raw
came out
Sugar.
2016.
You confirmed your musical talents.
I,
Everybody knew that you have the blues inside.
Well, I think, in any aspect, when you're talking about the music industry, your first album is kind of, if it does well, which my first album did really well, people are kind of waiting to see if you can do it again. It's kind of like, oh, that could have been a fluke, So the second album, I had all basically creative control over it, and so I was pleased with it. And then I'm working on a new album now called Moonchild, and it's all mine too, so I'm having fun with it. And
Can you tell us something about why did you choose that title?
Raw Sugar? Yes, I was coming out of...
What's behind it, or why did you choose that title?
Well, at the time I was going through a divorce, and basically, it's kind of the song Raw Sugar on the album. I say, there's nothing about me refined. And it was one of those times where, my emotions were raw. I was writing from this raw place. And I use the metaphor of raw sugar, that it's not refined sugar. So basically it was a time where I wasn't in a really good space when I wrote about it.
It is the music of a woman from the 50s, 60s. I read somewhere. Can you understand why they wrote that impression about you?
I think that it's...
Is it correct, or don't you say no? It's not so.
Well, I think that it's definitely plausible.
I think so. They are correct. Yeah.
The reason why I can agree with it is because majority of my influences come from those times, from the 50s to the 70s, so I can see how you can find that resonating in my voice and my style, because I have studied a lot from Etta James and Tina Turner and Ike and Tina and Big Mama Thornton and Big Mom Maybelle and Esther Phillips, and so I've studied a lot from the women of the day.
Inspiring.
Yeah, Nina Simone and Billie Holiday, and it's just all of their music. It's authentic and real.
2 albums, plans for a next album, a new album.
Yes, a new album.
Tell us something about it. You have free promotion time.
The new album, we're working on it, and I'm kind of taking my time on it because I want to really. I'm exploring a whole lot of different aspects of the blues. So we still have juke joint blues. We have a little bit of jazz blues. We've got soul blues. We've got blues rock. Real edgy, gritty blues rock. I've got a couple Delta blues, gospel blues. So, I'm just kind of showing the different aspects of it, and I'm taking my time because I want to do it right.
Yeah, you have performed all over the world.
Yes, and
with a lot of artists as a backing vocalist. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are there still artists that you want to play with? Some missing persons on your list that you maybe...
I would have loved to perform, to open up for Tina Turner. I would have loved to. And I'm praying that she comes out of retirement just one time, just so I can open for her. And she go back to retirement.
You must ask it.
Yeah, hey Tina, can you come out, please?
You are a musician, but what keeps you on beside music? Do you have some things beside music? A life beside music?
I have my children.
You have?
I do have children. I have a significant other, someone I'm dating, he's really a balancing, force. I think for a long time I was just completely not focused on relationships because I do spend so much time touring. I'm on the road a lot, so relationships are hard. But it's now at that point in my life where my career is really doing this domino effect, butterfly effect thing. It's just going boom, 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 and having someone there to support you is amazing. So I'm thankful for that. But other than that, I don't have time for anything else.
How long are you a musician?
Professional now, it's going on 18 years. Yeah.
What did you learn about yourself during these years by being a musician?
That following your dreams are definitely a guidepost to your destiny and your purpose. And I think that when you focus on your purpose, when you focus on your dreams, you may not know your purpose, but as you go down that path, you'll find it. And I definitely found my purpose. And my purpose actually is not singing blues. It's actually encouraging, supporting, and using resources or helping gather resources to help other people follow their dreams. So I'm thankful for the experience.
What are the plans for the near future? You're now touring in Europe, yeah?
Yes, I now am. We've got Belgium and Russia and Ireland and Israel and South America. We have Southeast Asia coming up next year. We're pretty much booked all until 2019, so we're staying on the road, staying working.
Just, I have to ask you one thing. You finished your show tonight with one great song, I'd Rather Go Blind. Mm-hmm. I read somewhere that you co-write the song. Is that a true story? No.
No, I don't know who said that.
I wrote it, that's why I asked you it.
No.
Said I must ask her because that is a story that forget it, no problem.
When that song was written by Etta James and a couple other people, I wasn't thought of. So
when you prepare questions,
no.
That's why I asked you.
We debunk that one.
Forget it.
That one's false.
I have a last question. Were you satisfied about the show tonight?
Absolutely.
You have to do it in a hot situation, very warm. Everybody was standing outside because of the heat. Yeah.
I'm overjoyed. I love my band. My guys, definitely support me. And they're all so very talented and gifted, and each one of them brings something special to what we do. And so I feel like we executed today, and we came to kick butt and take names, and I think we did that. So.
But what I saw, that the reactions were very great. Everybody was satisfied.
I'm glad.
Okay. Is there something I didn't ask you?
I mean, there's always tons to talk about. But no, I think that we've covered a lot. Thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Gigi Thames, thank you again for your time. This were my questions. This were the questions from Roots Time. I hope that we can see you again in Belgium.
Absolutely.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you so much.